Everyone, it's John Orlando from the PVD Cast, and I wanted to take a few moments of your time to let you know where you can find the PVD Cast. The online home of yours truly, PVDcast.com, is a great place to go, but it's also available through all the major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, etc. There's also live broadcasts of the PVD Cast every single week. Mondays 8 p.m. Eastern through the Facebook page of the PVD Cast, and Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. through the Snobs Facebook page. And no matter how you listen, please make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. And with that, I will chat at each and every one of you later.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Snobs Network. But I'm not here to talk to you about the Snobs. I'm here to talk to you about Max and Jason, Three Geeks Podcast. You will probably tune into the Three Geeks Podcast and be like, 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, there's obviously more than 3. There's like 89 million of us. We started with 3. We're like gremlins. We just keep multiplying.
Yeah, they fed us at midnight. They poured some water on us. And now it's like 78 geeks. But you can be a geek too.
If you like comedy, which we sometimes do, if you like hearing about movies, TV shows, you like hearing hot takes from Max and John, you like hearing somebody who loves most things, but when I get mad about a show, it's pretty entertaining, I gotta say. But no, we're the Three Geeks Podcast. We're just a group of friends that don't talk to each other through the week so we can have natural conversations on Sunday.
Yep.
We're like actually probably the worst group of friends because we don't ever talk to each other outside of doing podcasts. I mean, except for you and I, but that's because we're roommates. But, like Three Geeks Podcast. Tune in, check us out.
And have fun.
Yes.
Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. And recycle your droids.
Here is Sub-Zero. Now, Plane Zero.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan, and I'm here to tell you guys about thescenesnobs.com. We're a channel of variety, comedy, entertainment, geek-related, sports, the whole 9 yards. We cover almost every genre. We have so many great shows to choose from. We have shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, BTB Podcast, The Guapo Show, the Sports Snobs Podcast, the PVD Cast, Jeff Dwoskin presents Crossing the Streams, the Three Geeks Podcast, the Fandom Effect. We probably have the only Matlock-based podcast called Matt Talk, and we're introducing new shows all the time. We have new shows coming up like the Ear Hustling Podcast, Carpool Shenanigans, and of course, From Some Nobodies, Twitching Upstream, and Talking Upstream. So come on, check out thescenesnobs.com, enjoy it, and please leave feedback. Like, follow, subscribe us, and just let us know what you think. We love to have all the interaction. So I, again, am the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. Check out thescenesnobs.com. You can follow us anywhere on social media at The Scene Snob, and we will talk to you guys soon. Take care. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast. I am your fantastic host, Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and joined with me always is the Madman, Casey Plott.
That's me. Buddy? Welcome, everybody. Pleasure.
Like how I called myself a fantastic host, and I called you, as always, here.
Yep. I mean, well, that pretty much covers it.
That's what you have to do. You have to tear people down.
Right, exactly, and then build them back up, right? I mean, when's the building up happen?
It's like Sonny said, you just give them enough. Just enough. So that they respect you, but they also fear you.
No, I didn't understand that everything had to be mafia related. Who knew? Apparently, I'm behind the times.
We have a very special person joining us right now, and that is our best friend in the world, Facebook user.
Facebook user.
I love it. Thank you for joining in. As always, Facebook user. Tell your friends. Get us more likes.
And more Facebook users.
And more Facebook. Yeah, I agree. Get all the Facebook users. I want Facebook user conversations going on, and all I know is that it's Facebook user talking.
That's all we need.
It really is, man. It perfectly is. And I want to say this for anybody who's starting to watch out now. One of our main topics tonight that we're asking all of you as well, because we just want to hear what you have to say. Dream guests, like guests we'd love to have on the show, interview here on Scene Snobs. So my big thing is I want to hear what you guys think. Not for you, but who you would love to see on the Scene Snobs. Who would you like to see Mick and the Madman go toe to toe with? So,
Whoa, are we fighting them now?
no, it could be just dancing toe to toe.
Oh, okay. Actually, I'm hip with that. Yeah. Who do you want to see us dance with?
I don't. Chris Pine. That's
Rachel
my first
McAdams. Always Rachel McAdams.
Okay. We both went a different way with that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why? Well, you said dancing, right? She's probably a fantastic dancer. She seems very light on her feet.
I'm still sticking with Chris Pine, though.
Of course you are.
Cool with it. It's Captain Kirk, man. Got to do it. So,
Bill Shatner.
Actually, that reminds me. What did you do for Valentine's Day, sir?
Well, actually, I had a fantastic Valentine's Day. Hi, Tim from Funny Science Fiction. I got to hang out with my daughter, so I got to hang out with my Valentine. It was glorious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. It was my favorite. It was the best day. We went and got some Dunkin' Donuts. We made each other big Valentine's Day cards. It was glorious.
That's
get much better than that. And then, we got to hang out and play some Minecraft because she's into that now. So we're playing video games. It was fantastic.
Yeah, both the boys are watching it now. And I don't know anything about it.
What's that?
Minecraft?
Oh, yeah. No, it's very simple. It's just build stuff. That's all we do anyway. She's trying to explain to me the other parts of the game, and I'm like, yeah, no, that sounds dumb. I don't tell her that. But
Tommy
of course,
Wiseau, that was our first dream guest that was thrown up there.
Ooh, interesting. That would be interesting. So, how'd your Valentine's Day go, buddy? What's the married life Valentine's Day like?
Pretty good. I mean, we exchanged our gifts. We had a good time. We had we kind of celebrated on Saturday night because the kids stayed at their grandparents' house, and we just kind of hung out. We were watching Suits, just binge watching and hanging out and just eating good food. And then Sunday she went to her sister's house because her sister's moving to California, so she's spending some time with her. And then she came home and we watched This Means War with Chris Pine and Tom Hardy.
Oh gosh, what a great cast! I'm surprised. I wish that movie had been better. It was a good movie. It just wasn't great. You know what I mean?
I agree.
It was good. It's solid. It's solid for what it is, but it's not one that you're like, I absolutely have to watch this movie. I never get that reaction. You mentioned that you're like, hey, yeah, just watching This Means War, and I'm like, that's cool. It's a good flick.
Yeah, that's about it. And it was added in deleted scenes, which I had never seen before, and I didn't know that they were adding deleted scenes in. So I was just kind of like, all right.
As much screen time as you can get with Tom Hardy and Chris Pine. I mean, they're two big, huge, sexy actors. Of course, you want all the screen time with those guys. Whoa, easy, buddy. Pump the brakes.
Huge. Well, it was funny because as we were talking about it, I was like, this scene wasn't in the theatrical version. And she's just like, well, I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen it. I was like, I've seen it 4 times. I know it's not in there.
Of course you've seen it 4 times. Of course. Who am I to talk? I mean, I'm the guy who a week previous I'm watching The Notebook, Casablanca. I mean, I went heavy.
Oh no, my Saturday I binged. I watched 4 movies. I had a movie marathon.
Nice.
And I was very happy with it.
Were there any Shailene Woodley movies in there, like The Fault in Our Stars?
No. That's another topic for tonight I want to hear everybody's opinion on, and that's actors you can't stand.
Allison Pill. We'll get to that later.
Mine is, of course, Shailene Woodley, and we'll get to that later. But that's my Saturday was filled with Michael Paré and Michael Beck and more Michael Paré.
Went Michael heavy. All right.
I did. I watched The Warriors.
Nice.
Followed it up with another Walter Hill classic of Streets of Fire.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Soundtrack.
Yeah, I know you do. You always talk about it.
And every movie had great soundtrack to it that day. Because then I watched Eddie and the Cruisers.
I was about to say Eddie and the Cruisers, man. That's your go-to jam.
And then Eddie and the Cruisers too.
Oh heavens!
Had to do it.
Was there any Michael Rooker in any of those?
No Michael Rooker. Unless he was an extra I didn't know about, but I didn't see him.
Always possible.
This is so weird. It's weird because we haven't had this is the first time not having a guest in a long time.
Yeah. It's a little odd, but it's quite wonderful. It's nice because it's just refreshing once in a while to have, us. I just get to stare into your beautiful face and magnificent beard and always imagine I had one. It's a big part of what I do on these.
I don't blame you for not having one. It's a lot of upkeep. A lot of hairs in the mouth.
Yeah, mine just won't grow. So, I mean, it's not like a choice.
Got to get you that Fu Manchu going, man.
Oy, I don't think so.
Facebook user says Warriors come out and play.
I mean, that's one of the greatest bottle clanging scenes ever.
Oh yeah, and of course I had to compare the two Street because again they're both Walter Hill movies. They're both very similar in tone, pacing, look. As Streets of Fire and the Warriors. Warriors being the one that came out first, but Streets of Fire in '84 came out, and it was very similar in the way that like this old war hero comes back to his hometown. He gets hired to save his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. He and a group of people go to the place where it is with Willem Dafoe being the bad guy, who's amazing in it. And then they have to make their way home basically on foot. So it's basically the Warriors.
Yeah.
And I got to say,
I mean, if it worked the first time, why change it?
I 100% agree. I do.
No need.
And it's Streets of Fire. So, I mean, listen. And he really likes to set houses on fires near subways.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a very touching thing. I mean, it's like Tombstone. You know, there's always that scene with them walking by with the house on fire in the background. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So it's 9:08. That's our show. Thank you for what? No, I'm just kidding.
What in the world?
No, we have a lot to talk about.
What happened? Yeah. I still was on Dream Guests because I go back and forth. I think Michael Rooker would be a great one too, because I only have one question. Well, I mean, lots of questions for that guy, but legitimately one question. I need to know if Gene Hackman actually grabbed his balls in Mississippi Burning, because the reaction that man had was as if his balls had been grabbed.
His balls definitely grabbed.
I'm pretty sure they were, unless he's just that phenomenal an actor, which just raises him up a notch.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that his balls were definitely grabbed. I think that's how it works. What do you say to Michael Rooker coming in with the type of career he's had with so many movies? Like, what are your top questions you're asking him besides the ball thing?
Well, the ball thing is number one. But as soon as the ball thing is out of the way, then it's, if you weren't an actor, what would you be?
Okay.
Like, just as a person, I'm curious to who that guy would have been. Like, where would he have wound up? I think it's so fascinating to find out what actors would have been if not for the acting. Because, I mean, what is it? 1 out of 10,000 people become that famous of an actor, maybe 50,000. I'm not even sure what the odds are, but it's outrageous. No. So what would he have done? You know, I follow his Instagram account. It seems like he's a dude, and I appreciate people who are just themselves. So that would definitely be one of the questions. The other one is, and I was thinking about this after our moment with Ethan Suplee. I was like, man, I had a terrible question. I should have just asked him what was his proudest moment in acting.
See, you're very much a whimsical guy. Me, I want to get to the nitty gritty of it. I want to know if you've seen the fucking Sailboat. For one.
Well, yeah, it's a granular thing. You know, I like to be a little more head in the clouds. You're grounded. It's who we are.
I will say this, Rolando, I love it. Says Mickey Rourke. You said I would love to talk to Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke has had such a phenomenal career. I would love to talk to him and just have discussions about. Oh well, I mean, obviously, did he get a boner when Marissa Tomei was on top of him grinding naked?
Did he get a boner when Kim Basinger was grinding on top of him naked? Like, I mean,
well, yeah. Well, 9.5 weeks. I mean, they basically humped. I mean, come on. There's no way they weren't humping. I mean, there's just certain scenes in there where it's like, I'm pretty sure that's real. I'm pretty sure that is happening. They're just not showing it.
It's just hard all the time.
Oh yeah,
Kim Basinger in the height
of Kim Basinger in this.
Yeah. So I would, I mean, Mickey Rourke would be one. I would ask him a ton of questions. I'd very much love to ask him about the movie Diner, which is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. So I would go after that, and I would love to have the whole cast of Diner on. That would be amazing. Some star power, you say?
Hi, Scott Reagan.
Scott, what's going on, buddy? That whole movie is a boner.
Yeah, it is.
Agree. And I like how you separated it in two separate comments. It is, the whole thing is a boner. And the second one is too, with Angie Everhart.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
It is.
It's right up there with Poison Ivy in that whole series.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
God, I just think of all those late night USA movies, which you can tell definitely was a big part of my upbringing.
Oh, 100%. Rhonda Shear, baby. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love Rhonda Shear and Gilbert Gottfried. I'm like, wait a minute, a guy like that could hang out with a woman like that? I've got a chance to at least, be in the same room.
If you're paying the payments, that's how that works.
Well, fair, yeah. I'm used to like a glass wall between us, so.
Well, for me, there's a lot of guests I'd love to talk to. The guys over on 3 Geeks podcast aired yesterday, and you guys can go check it out over at the Scene.
Oh man, I watched that with Leon Robinson, dude.
Oh my God,
phenomenal.
I would love to have Leon on. I am such a huge fan of Leon, and when he told me, Jason told me they were having him on the show, I was like, I want to talk to him every day, all day.
I want to talk about The Temptations. The Temptations alone is a movie that I could have conversation with for hours, just to discover like what it was like to play David Ruffin, what kind of research did he do going into that role. That movie came out right at the height of my introduction and love of Motown, when I was really in the throes of listening to only Motown.
That's such a great one to talk about. Just him playing David Ruffin in Temptations, and it was a great miniseries. But the 5 Heartbeats too, I would love to see the comparison.
Oh yeah,
because the 5 Heartbeats was basically based on, it was a miniseries based on the story of the Temptations. So to actually play out both and kind of play the same character in both, sort of similar. I would love to hear it, but I mean, that would be after I completely and utterly just asked him every question about Above the Rim.
Above the Rim, of course. I mean, come on, phenomenal.
I love that movie, and but he's just has such a long resume, and I mean that is one I would gush over.
Well, and
he Collins Jr.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that would be a strong one. Louis Gossett Jr. That'd be fun.
Oh my God, I would love to talk to Louis Gossett Jr.
I could talk about Iron Eagle alone.
I think, did Louis Gossett Jr. just pass away?
No.
Did you ruin this for me?
Don't you dare say that.
Give me hope.
Did you kill Louis Gossett Jr.?
I did not. No, he's still alive. We need to get him on the show.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. Get him now, because I need to hear about everything Iron Eagle.
That would be a solid one. I would also tell him a story about how I made Shawnee Smith very angry.
And could wind up backfiring. Just be aware.
Yeah, that really could be. But I mean, listen, you got to take a shot.
Hey, Scott, I totally agree about Wild Things, by the way, because Wild Things was fantastic.
Was terrible, but also watched it for many other reasons. Above the Rim versus the Air Up There. The Air Up There is terrible.
Yeah, but I loved it. Watching it as a kid, it was great. Watching it when I got older, I was like, why did I watch this? So why did I love this movie? Yeah.
Kevin Bacon teaching like 7-foot Africans how to play basketball. That's not problematic. Above the Rim, straight up amazing. Tupac is the best. Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Mark Hamill. So many Star Wars Joker and Trickster questions.
Yes.
100% agree.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, though, this is my problem. I wouldn't interview him. I would just stare at him the whole time.
And I would just be in awe. I'd ask him questions he wouldn't want me to ask him. So it would just be kind of like, So
or like every question, every question I have about him would just be about people who are dead. So that's the other thing that would suck, is my entire line of questioning would just be about dead people. And I don't think that's cool anymore.
Who's an Oscar winner you'd love to interview?
Dang. I'm actually a bit stumped.
Did Woody Harrelson win an Oscar?
Yeah, I was going to say one of those. Matthew McConaughey, of course. I mean, who wouldn't like to interview that guy, just be able to talk to him for a little bit, find out what he's like. I bet you he's real nice. He's got a big heart. Bet you he's just a good dude.
Oh, Woody Harrelson was only nominated for 3 Oscars. I bet you if we got them both on the show, that would be a really good show.
Oh, that show would be phenomenal.
We'd have a really good time.
God, that would be great.
And we should just try and talk to them doing impersonations of them.
Yes. The whole time. That's all we do.
But mine is just an impersonation of Woody from Cheers. I love
the worst.
Come on the show, Woody Harrelson, please. White Man Can't Jump is a great movie, too.
I mean, I would love to talk to him about Cheers. That would be great.
Yeah, here's the thing with Morgan Freeman.
Anthony Dufresne was my friend.
Of course, I would love to interview. I'd love to interview anybody, so I'm always up for interviewing
Denzel
anybody.
Washington would be great.
Yeah, but
I'd actually like to interview Denzel about his charity work because he does so much for so many. I'd be really interested in a lot of that.
I mean, all of these guys, Morgan Freeman, everybody, Mark Hamill, of course. I would love to have him on the show, but I want the people that would really excite you. Like, you're sitting here and you're having a good time. Like, because I feel like if I'm talking to Denzel Washington, I want to have a good time, but I'm probably going to be very stuffy because I just want to do it right.
Yeah, no, that's true. I wouldn't be comfortable around it because I would be so damn nervous. Same with Mark Hamill, though, 100%. I would be too nervous to interview the guy properly. I wouldn't be enjoying it. I would be by the book. I would be, having a line of questions, break down each question, follow up properly. I would be too focused on doing it right. Agreed. Whereas like Ryan Reynolds, I wouldn't give a shit what I said to that guy. I'd have a ball.
It would be a lot of fun, I bet? Emma Stone.
Oh, Emma Stone would be fantastic. She seems like she would be glorious. Ryan Gosling could be fun.
Yeah, maybe. But I'd prefer Emma Stone.
Like, yeah. I mean,
he's too pretty. He can't be on my show.
Sorry. What are you talking about?
No. I take it away. Ryan, I really like your acting. I want to see your Wolfman movie. But no, you're too pretty to be on my show.
Make sure you get the right Ryan
Gosling clause in my contract.
Okay, that's great. I didn't realize you had a contract. What the hell? Where's my contract? What is this?
I wrote the contracts, and it's going to be in every contract from now on. No Ryan Goslings on the Scene Snobs.
We can have Ryan Reynolds.
Unless he hosts. If he hosts the show, I'm cool with it. Because he's pretty. He's really pretty, and I want people to watch the Scene Snobs. So if he hosts, they're watching it.
Well, luckily, I never have to worry about looks. I'm absolutely horrendous, so it doesn't really matter. It's so much easier when you walk through life as a one. It's great. It's just smooth, man.
I asked my wife if she's ever been with any 10s before. She said, "Yeah, sure." Not me.
Just left it at that. Just I just see Mary walking away like, "Oh yeah, babe."
Tons of them. But I've settled on a 1. Oh my God! Would you interview Mark Hamill wearing a bathrobe with a good on only a hard on?
Hard on? I mean, I would definitely look. I would do it with a bathrobe on. In fact, only a bathrobe. I
have a new show. I have a new show coming out, which is a horror podcast where we all wear onesies. So I would definitely talk to. Yeah, you should guess, and everybody has to wear onesie. It's gonna be amazing.
I'm in, man. Absolutely. I've got a dragon onesie. I've got a Star Wars Stormtrooper onesie. I'm loaded on onesie.
You know how hard it was to find a onesie for me? I had to get a Snorlax onesie because I guess the Snorlax is as big as I am.
Yeah, man, that's great. I'm sure it looks wonderful on you.
If you include dead people, I'd love to hear from. Oh yeah, I mean that would be my number 1 if he was still alive. I would love to have Bill Murray on, but again, I would just be too in awe. I met the dude and I couldn't talk to him.
Harold Ramis would be really fun if he were still around. I feel like that dry wit would be a blast to chat with.
So many filmmaking questions. I would love to talk to Rob Reiner.
Ooh, nice.
See,
Rob Reiner could be fun too. I bet you Rob Reiner would be really cool.
100%. And like, you know how many people are going to be asking it All in the Family? And yeah, I would touch on it. But you know how many filmmaking questions I went on and asked that guy?
God, because he's done so much. It's a
litany. I'm Rolodexing in my head all of his movies, and there's so many snobby assholes who bitch about Rob Reiner as a filmmaker because
really
they're idiots. He's just this, and it's like, are you kidding me? Tell me you don't watch all of these movies. Like I watch A Few Good Men when it comes on TV, no matter what.
God, I love that movie. Yeah, I did the same thing. That's actually a funny thing. This past summer, when I had River for the extended period of time, we're hanging out and we would flip through the channels, and she was like, "Daddy, why is this A Few Good Men always on?" And I was like, "Well, because it's always on TV. It's a really good movie, and I usually stop at it. Even with my 8-year-old daughter, I'm like, you'll learn something."
Because it's not a stuffy movie. It's like an upscale type of story, really well written, really well acted, beautiful sets and scenery. But you don't feel like when I watched The Verdict with Paul Newman, you watch that and you're like, man, this is a movie. This is like I almost feel like I shouldn't be watching this because like I'm wearing like boxer shorts and like I should be wearing a suit to watch movies like that.
Yeah,
Men, no, they don't make you feel like that. They make you feel good, is what they do. Those good men make you feel good.
And you only need a few of them.
We got George Carlin. I would love to talk to George Carlin.
It'd be wonderful.
I would talk to George Carlin for an hour just about his time on Jersey Girl because he had such a great role in it. Now, I'm not saying the movie was. I'm not defending that movie. I'm just saying. But you know what? I will defend that movie a little bit because it's not a terrible movie. People.
Oh God, because Jersey's in the title. Get over it.
No, that's not why. Shut up. Don't pick on Jersey. But Carlin as the father in that was fantastic. And I would love to talk to him about everything.
Richard Dreyfuss would be awesome. I would have 3 things with Richard Dreyfuss. I would be stuck. I know you'd be stuck on Jaws. I was
in Jaws.
I don't need this. Oh crap! What is the name of the movie where he's the dead fireman and he's the ghost?
It's he was the pilot, but he was the fireman pilot.
Always. Yes, I loved Always, man. Growing up, that was one of my tops. And then actually his current activism about trying to get oh man, I forgot about it. Government classes back into high school. I think is fascinating. Like trying to teach our youth and what he's pushing is really necessary and needed. And I would get way too serious and political with him. Agreeing with him the whole time because I've heard him in interviews and I think he's wonderful. And Mr. Holland's Opus, come on, awesome.
I don't care. Like if he was on the show, cool. There's stuff I would definitely have to talk to him about. So okay.
That's a resounding positive.
And listen, it's not a matter of putting people down. It's not like, oh, I'm going to turn this person down. But if I'm being honest, like I have a list, and that list is based on certain things like that I'm very excited to talk about. Like if Rob Reiner's on, I want to talk about his filmmaking. I can go on and on about how great his movies are, but I want to hear from the man. Like, what did he do here? Like, what was like, when you achieved this, like, what were you going for? Like things like that. Like, and from a filmmaker standpoint. And there's a lot of actors and filmmakers that I can say that about. And I even touched down really, except for Rob Reiner. I haven't touched down on even filmmakers.
No, because I mean, there's such a can of worms. I mean, that's why I think we're leaving it kind of in the actors realm. And actually, Scott brought up a great one who would be 100% one of my favorites, Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. God, would I love to
both Ted Danson and Michael Keaton. I would love to have on. See, but they excite me. Like, no offense to Richard Dreyfuss. Yes, we could talk about Jaws. We could do this. We could do that. But like Ted Danson is probably one of the most accomplished TV actors of all time. He has had 6 hit TV shows now, which is kind of unheard of for any actor.
Do we count Becker in that?
What?
You count Becker in that?
Yeah, Becker was a hit show for 7 years.
It was on for 7 years?
7 years, dude.
Good night.
So, right. I mean, that's a big time, man. Like, you got Ted Danson has and he's CSI became like a big hit after he joined.
Yeah, like the good place was huge. Yeah,
it was a hit, but it took a dip, and then it came back on. So, and it came back up with him. So, like, I mean, if you're really going by, so you have Becker was from 98 to 2004, dude.
Holy cow!
That right there is that's.
I mean, that's an accomplishment alone, and then then you have, of course, Cheers. So
Cheers is his number one. That was his biggest one.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about his movies. So you have Cheers, you have Becker. That's 2. He was on Damages. Damages was a hit show he was on.
Yeah.
That's 3. Bored to Death was a hit show. 4.
I forgot about Bored to Death. I loved Bored to Death. Jason Schwartzman and Jack Black, right?
Yep. CSI he was on for 4 years. I mean, that's not a slight. Like if he was on for a season, I'd be like, you can't count it. But 4 years. And that was towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
Like that keeps you going. So I'm counting that as another hit. That's 5. That's right. He was on Fargo the first season.
Oh, yeah.
That counts.
Yeah.
He was.
I love that this bit has turned into the Ted Danson tally.
I will always talk about Ted Danson. The Good Place.
The Good Place is phenomenal.
because he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got his new show, Mr. Mayor. So if that becomes a hit, like that's a lot of hits for a TV actor to have.
No, absolutely. But and between the two, if we're just looking at Ted Danson and Michael Keaton, I'm Michael Keaton all the way, because he is every single role he has done. I have loved him in. It has made the movie better because he was in it. Even the what is it? The other guys. That is absolutely in no way a Michael Keaton movie. He steals that fucking movie and adds so much. His Bed Bath & Beyond shtick. Are you kidding me? It's phenomenal.
Creep. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
So
hey,
good.
guys, listen. Don't go chasing waterfalls, all right?
It's funny that and I'm going to ask you this real quick. Yes, Carlin did teach us the rules to hitching. You got to give a blowjob. That's how it works.
Follow the book.
I picked this up on Valentine's Day at a CVS, and I've always wanted one, but I've never I never went and grabbed it. Not this particular one, but I've always wanted my a model of my favorite Batmobile, because we're talking Keaton.
Yes,
that's my favorite. I mean, the cartoon, the animated series is awesome. Don't get me wrong. The 66 is awesome.
The 66 was just a rad car anyway. That was didn't have to be the Batmobile, but Tim Burton's Batmobile crushed it, and it was the best use of guns versus the Tumbler, the Christian Bale one.
Yeah, he just blew up the factory. They could save themselves.
Right, he was functionally able to do shit. Batfleck, you fucking ass.
He let them run out if they wanted to. If they didn't make it, it's just like you were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
It was skirting the lines of Batmandom. Even just to talk about Batman versus Birdman as it applies to his life. I don't know that. Well, first off, that's not true. I would love to talk to Birdman because it's truly a brilliant film.
Oh yeah.
And anybody who doesn't understand cinematography. I put that in. That's the snob in us. That's the scene snobs. So that's the snob in us. I will say this though. I don't know that I'd get to it, because after talking about Batman, there's Gung Ho.
Gung Ho, dude. Gung Ho would be a whole day. Spotlight.
I would be on the 80s yet. The 80s is what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, if you just get into the 80s, there's so many. Oh, what's the one where they all escape from the freaking mental ward?
Oh my god, that's such a good one. What is it called?
That one.
It's going to drive me crazy.
Don't worry, I'll research.
I'm doing it now.
It'll look totally natural, as if
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd's in it.
There's so many. What is it called? It's going to drive me nuts. Oh, Johnny Dangerously. How do we not talk about Johnny Dangerously?
Oh, Jesus, Johnny Dangerously. He's fantastic.
Clean and Sober was an amazing movie. Beetlejuice. We didn't even say Beetlejuice.
We hadn't even gotten to Beetlejuice yet. Oh, and how many more Tim Burton projects then has he done? I'd love to talk about him and his love of Tim Burton, because he was like the 80s and 90s version of what Johnny Depp would become as the Tim Burton-esque actor. The Founder was great.
So many movies. Clean and Sober. The Dream Team was the one where they...
The Dream Team, yeah.
One Good Cop. Pacific Heights. God, there's movies that I'm forgetting that are just so brilliant that I would love to talk to him about. The Paper, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yep.
That goes higher than Batman for me, because I just love that movie.
Yeah, I always felt like I was weird because Gung Ho is honestly one of my top threes for him. I loved Gung Ho so much.
I would love to get his take on working with Tarantino, especially that young.
Yeah.
And Jackie Brown. Because he did a great job as the agent in that.
That was another one, Jackie Brown. Yeah, see, Michael Keaton's my top out of all of them that we've discussed now. Now that I really put it in like someone who I would be able to truly engage in conversation and have a dickload of things that I would be learning the whole process. Because I love the audience. His interview would be for me. That's 100%.
Oh, every interview I do is for me. And again, it's not an audience. I appreciate you. I want to do a good interview that you'll appreciate and enjoy. But it's for me.
Well, we were asked the other day who would be our favorites, and I brought up Hugh Jackman because I still would love to discuss with Hugh Jackman going from being a stage actor in the way he was and a musicals actor and just phenomenal in that, and also being this iconic comic book character who has carried the mantle as, I believe, the only comic book character to not be recast. He was able to play his entire run as Wolverine. That's a fascinating accomplishment. And I want to talk to him about it. The X-Men rock.
I hope they bring him back. I hope it's all a
Yeah.
secret and they bring him back in Marvel.
Him and Deadpool. That's all I want. I want a him and Deadpool movie. I want them
Well,
on
actually,
screen.
Since we're moving on, let's get to. Have you watched WandaVision this week?
Oh Lord. Okay. So
So I'm going to put this up real quick before we start. I want to put up a spoiler alert just to make sure everybody is aware. So if you haven't watched it, tough. Just keep watching this show and just deal with it. So pop that up there so everybody kind of knows where we're at.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alerts. I need to get something. I need to get something that comes out and it's like spoiler. What?
Just huge and annoying. It's got to be big and loud. Get ready. Spoilers ahead.
I love it. So for me with WandaVision, there's something I would absolutely love to talk about, and that is the costumes.
Oh man, are the costumes freaking amazing. Okay, so I finally caught up on it. I always like to wait and kind of, which is terrible for the gig I do with you. But waiting, I'm not much of a week-to-week guy anymore. I don't like things serialized. I need to be able to punish them when I have the time and just eat it all. Feast or famine, man. So WandaVision started slow, or at least I thought it was going to start slow. Watching it, phenomenal. The pacing was beautiful. The show and story is so much fun, but I knew where they're going with it, so I want them to hurry up. So for me, I'm impatient. I'm not going to wait.
No.
And it's seeing when they get to the costumes where they're actually doing all the throwbacks in this latest episode. We've got the Quicksilver throwback. We've got the Scarlet Witch. We've got OG Vision. Just fantastically done. And the fact that the latest episode was done like a Malcolm in the Middle
Yes,
was so awesome. It was so great. Vision, Paul Bettany, who would also be fantastic. My fear is he's a professional and I am not. So he would really outclass us on this show. But
he's the guy who would get down and dirty and have fun.
I would hope so, because I would like to talk Wimbledon with him. Yeah, I said it. I love that movie.
God, is it just that you don't like things, or
what do you mean? I like things. I love Wimbledon. What's wrong with what? I'm so confused by that.
Yeah, because it's bad.
Well, it's not bad. It's got Kirsten Dunst, and she's fantastic.
Did I ever tell you a story? All right, real quick. I got to go off on a tangent. Paul Bettany.
Tangent alert.
Paul Bettany is an amazing actor.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, I worked with Malcolm McDowell as a personal assistant at the Florida Film Festival for a few days while he was there. So basically, just kind of ran point, got his stuff ready, things like that. And I'll go check the scores for him for soccer or football, as they call it. Gracious, wonderful, gentle, loving, amazing man. Every day I'm so happy I got to just even be in his presence. He was just absolutely terrific human being. Gangster #1 had come out a couple of years before. So Paul Bettany was still pretty young.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
But Paul Bettany was known, and Paul Bettany is amazing. And he came out of the gate like great. So for me, when I would watch it, but it was Malcolm McDowell's performance in that movie. Mm-hmm. That was just truly amazing. Well, I had this guy in college at the time, who was like, I need to ask him what working with Paul Bettany was like. And I just went off on him, and I'm like, you don't ask Malcolm McDowell what working with Paul Bettany is like. You ask Paul Bettany what working with Malcolm McDowell is like. I was such a super snob, and it was messed up, but I still kind of mean it. Like,
no, and I get that. I mean, everyone has a different. Well, look, one of my favorite movies that I first saw him in, aside from A Knight's Tale, which there's a lot of stories to unpack there with Paul Bettany, but The Reckoning that he did with Willem Dafoe. They are both fantastic, and they crush that screen together. Every time they're on there, they're just fantastic. But you're right. If I'm talking to Paul Bettany, I'm asking him what it's like to work with Willem fucking Dafoe.
Oh yeah, and listen, there are plenty of people you ask, like, what's it like working with Paul Bettany?
Oh yeah, Kirsten Dunst is one of them.
No, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know about all that, but I will say that, like, when it comes down to it, like, you want to talk to people who like work with Paul Bettany and ask them, like, hey, what's this like? Like, I would even ask Robert Downey Jr. what it was like working with Paul Bettany.
Oh yeah, but
Paul Bettany, it's like he's an esteemed actor.
He is.
and he's doing amazing on WandaVision. So I went off on a tangent there. We are talking about WandaVision, but
I just want to say his Bryan Cranston with Malcolm in the Middle, because it seems like it wears off as it goes on, and that happens in every single episode purposefully, and it's done masterfully. But the way he started just walking down the stairs with those little smirks and those weird like exasperations, I was like, oh, this is great. Oh, this is fantastic.
I enjoyed every minute of him on screen. I thought it was fantastic. They all did terrific. I love where they're going with it. I'm very interested to see how it all kind of pulls together. I love that they introduced Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, and they stuck with him. And to see where it goes, and I love that they did the Quicksilver outfit.
That was so cool. And I was such a big fan of House of M. I don't know if you ever read the House of M series. Guys, so great. So when you start to see Wanda's power, it's like, yeah, guys, she bends reality. I mean, she humped the dude who had the Mind Stone, and she was, fucked with the Reality Stone. She's pretty immensely powerful. So
she is, if you think about it, she is the Reality Stone.
She's kind of all that's left of the Reality Stone. I mean, they took part of that, and after experimenting on her, I mean, she is part of that, like you said, And so and it's also wild to think she doesn't have telekinesis. She's warping reality to create a new reality in which those things are happening.
Well, keep in mind that was in the comics. That did happen when Vision died back, I think it was 70s or 80s. I can't remember when it was.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, he died. She bent reality and created a whole new reality where she's married. With Mephisto helped her.
Oh, see, I thought that was like 90s. But yeah, maybe I'm off there.
She had kids with him. That's how they brought Vision back.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
So
it was a while ago. Shit.
I could see this being a way to kind of bring Vision back, but it was Professor X who got her out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and this is a great way, and this is considering House of M kind of flipped the mutant thing on its head. It's such a fantastic way to just insert this now, and we'll have that in there.
Oh my God! Even if she just willed Pietro to come back even more, that he was pulled from a different universe, but pulled all the mutants into the reality.
Right. And I think that's a great way to use this as a vehicle to now bring all of the mutants. I
would 100% accept that as reality, and it would be amazing. So I really liked what they did. I like that they turned spoilers again. They turned all of the agents into a circus.
That was fantastic. What a great little bit. And Kat Dennings is fantastic. Love seeing her.
I'm anxious to see what she plays in the next episode. I haven't watched anything for it.
And I love the Maria Rambeau. She's awesome as crap, bringing that whole connection from the old Carol Danvers days. I mean, they've just and Randall Park. I need to give a big shout out to that guy. He is one of my absolute favorite comedians. That man, deadpan delivery is just brilliant. I get a chuckle every time he's on screen.
Oh, hold on one sec.
That is not Randall Park.
No, sorry. I was prepping that for, I don't know why I popped on. I was prepping that for our next topic.
What next topic?
Well, I wanted to see if you saw this show. Okay, so we're off spoilers, so we can just go right back to it. I want to see if you saw this commercial. It was a Gremlins commercial. So bear with me as I get it ready for you.
Like Gremlins, the movie Gremlins?
Watch. Why did it stop? Stupid.
Because it hates you.
Want to try some of my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar?
What time is it?
Tasty. Just as good as the original, but
be careful.
Sugar. Be careful.
Well, Mountain Dew is meant for the sugar.
What?
Hey, Dad, Mom wants.
Tell me that isn't going to be your life one day.
Oh, absolutely. You're kidding me? If I could get a Gremlin, 100%.
I just thought that.
But
was amazing.
We've had that discussion. You can't have Gremlins. We cannot have Mogwais because I am definitely going to do everything wrong, and not like it's going to take weeks. We're talking hours, possibly minutes.
You can't give me rules to having something. That's why I don't have a pet. And even when I did, I had my dog who passed away. Oh, I love you, Ray.
Team Ramrod.
It was guidelines. It was just like, I'm going to help. It's even like children. Like, I don't know that I follow rules to raising my children. It's more about the guidelines. Let's make sure they survive.
Yeah, I mean, keep them alive. Make sure they don't turn out to be assholes.
Yep.
I mean, keep them fed and watered and make sure they get sleep sometimes.
How do you feel about like a movie like Gremlins going on and doing a commercial like 30 years after that?
I mean, I'm fine with it. It's cool. I'd rather have a commercial like that than a remake. That was my fear. When you said commercial, I was like, oh my God, please don't.
I don't know if you're going to get a remake. They are going to be doing a Mogwai TV show.
I see why. Why?
It's like the history of the Mogwais or whatever. It's on Netflix. It's going to be an animated show.
Okay. I don't know. I have no interest. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. I still don't even understand why they're doing another Top Gun, quite frankly. It's not needed. What are you cashing in on at this point?
Yeah, it's really stupid. Just give us another Jack Reacher.
Oh. God, and look, I kind of enjoyed the first one because it was great to turn my brain off and see another Tom Cruise action movie because there aren't enough of those.
I will watch every Mission Impossible movie.
Look, the Mission Impossible movies are fine because they're Mission Impossible movies. And I love the series growing up. I love the Ethan Hunt character. It's fine. Don't make Tom Cruise another fucking character in another fucking set of movies. We don't fucking need it. It's the same problem I have with that Liam fucking Neeson. Because every fucking role he has done since Taken is just another version of him doing Taken. And I'm sick of it.
That's not true. I will say Made in Italy was a very good movie that I think you would enjoy. It was an indie film that came out last year.
All right. I will look into it. But he's probably still talking about a specific set of skills he has.
It's about a father and son renovating their old house in Italy.
See, he's got skills.
Where the mother passed away. So they're haunted by that. Not haunted. It's not a ghost story.
Oh, okay.
But they're haunted by the memories of her in the house as they have to try and fix it up to sell it.
Like the House of Sand and Fog?
Yeah, kind of. But a little more lighthearted. I'd say more on par with A Good Year.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. You've interested me. Yeah, because I really love that movie. Good Year was fantastic.
I think that gets a lot of shit, and it was really good.
Why did it get shit? Who shit on it? Assholes?
Because people just don't understand. They don't understand, man. It's over their heads. That's why we're here to course correct. We're here to make sure everybody understands what's
We will reset your sails.
Put it out now after we talk about it.
We're the wind to blow your sails, if you will. Hey.
I will say this though. We talked about Gremlins sort of getting a remake. We talked about WandaVision, which superhero film.
Which is great. And I hope, I don't care how many seasons they do. It's just a fantastic vehicle for whatever they want to do. It's really nailing the points that I think they wanted to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they never quite got it right. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was great in its own right. It just, for making it a tie-in to the movie MCU, it had moments, but it never quite nailed it for me.
Well, I want to get your reaction to Justice League, the new Justice League trailer.
Yep.
Really? Nothing moved you in it?
I'm done. I told you I'm done. Mike, they can't get me anymore. I'm done. Justice League has everything DC has been shat upon for so many reasons. Oh, I got a question. Is it going to be a different fucking actor as Batman?
Touche.
It's fucking Batfleck. Is his lip going to fucking quiver again?
Superman.
Is he going to run out of bullets?
All right, fair enough.
Is he going to keep his cowl on?
I'm just saying, like, the trailer looks pretty cool.
No, look, the trailer looks cool. And for people who like DC and who are fans of it, go nuts. I mean, I'm not here to tell you to not watch it or to not love what you love. I'm done. They did too many things poorly over the course repeatedly of all the opportunities they've been given over many movies. WB is a failing studio that I am not a fan of. They've taken many characters that I enjoyed. They did it with Arrow, Flash, all of their television shows, Supergirl. I actually enjoyed seasons 1 and 2 of pretty much every single one of those shows. And then all of a sudden they all fall apart. They try to do too much. They get too much in their feels. There are too many things in there and too many dynamics that don't work. And yet but meanwhile, they have the formula. It has worked. They have all the characters. They have great actors and actresses. It's phenomenal. Everything should work. On paper, it looks great. And then you Wonder Woman 84 it all over yourself. I can't.
Fair. All right. I'm not going to argue. I already got my ass handed to me on this topic once on the Three Geeks podcast this past Friday. Or Sunday. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Which day is it again? Where are we?
I don't even know what day it is. It's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
So I'm not even going to bring it up anymore. I'm just going to watch it, and I'm going to cry if it's terrible.
Well, look, I'll watch it. You know I will. You know I will. I can't not because I have to. I'm interested. The problem is I'm more upset that I know I have to watch it, and then I'm going to have to come back, and if it's good, I'm going to have to eat most of these words. The chances of that being good, though, pretty low.
You have to do the scene in the Mr. T cartoon when he was like, if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. And then they had a sandwich made with his words on it.
Yeah,
you had to eat that sandwich.
I will do that. I will legitimately make a sandwich of my words if I am wrong.
Sweet.
Like, I don't see it happening.
All right. Well, let's move on to the final topic tonight because we're kind of running out of time. Although it's my network, I can do whatever I want, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stand by my times because we have a great show coming up after this.
We do. I'm excited for it.
So here's my thing. We were talking about like actors that we can't separate from certain roles, and I want to talk about that too. But I also want to talk about actors that we just can't stand. And Shailene Woodley keeps coming up because of the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. Now, I don't care who he dates. Whatever. Do.
Oh no, I wish her and him all the best. Like absolutely. That is not a knock.
Neither the best nor the worst. I don't care. You are both chuds in society. Who can throw a football and not act well? Well, that's not my problem. Maybe balance each other out well. Talent versus no talent.
Maybe in real life it's like better if they're together because it's, if you put a half and a half, they make a person.
I'm sorry. I mean, he was dating one of my favorite women in the world. And I'm not basing this off looks. So I want anybody watching who's like, oh, he's the misogynist, because I know there's people out there saying,
dude, Attack of the Show. She's one of the funniest people who's out there. She's a video game person, and she's a phenomenal individual.
Olivia Munn is great in everything she's in.
Bingo.
She was fantastic on The Newsroom. I loved her as Sloane. Her character was great. And
Psylocke.
When she was with, I liked her as Psylocke. I thought she was a great choice. When she was with Aaron Rodgers, they were adorable online together, like playing these games and stuff. Like, they would do the little videos and stuff like that.
They were trying to catch up to the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively world.
I think they were. They were doing really well.
They were.
And now you have him with an actor I can't stand because I cannot stand the way she acts in her roles. It drives me nuts. And her activism actually makes me like her more, but I just cannot get past. I can't stand her in any movie she's in.
Look, agreed. And as a person, she seems like a fantastic human being. So I'm taking nothing away. This is strictly professionally and her face. It's which is funny because you and I mentioned that.
I'm not going to call her ugly.
No. She's not an ugly person. She makes a face when she's acting that I cannot stand. Her pouty, lovey thing. It's a Kristen Stewart face. It's a face I don't like. It's an Allison Pill face. Who they just have this. I think they're trying to be pensive, and it comes across as pooping. Like every time, constipated or yeah. So I'm not a fan, and every time I've seen Shailene Woodley, it really is not usually a bad movie. I'm not a fan of hers. Allison Pill does the same thing for me. In The Newsroom, funny you brought that one up. I love that show. Huge fan of that show, and I really actually liked her character. It was that last season. She was bad. It was the acting was not good. Yeah, cannot stand her.
I don't know. I can't. I hate to talk about people and be like, I hate this person, blah, blah, blah. Like,
I know.
hate anybody.
I've gotten to a point in my life too where I don't really. It feels weird doing it. I feel like we're trying to do the bit, and I just want to do. I want to jump into the bit, but it's tough to be like, fuck that person.
But I will admit, I cannot stand her as an actor. I cannot stand her in the movies, and there's plenty of others. Don't get me wrong, because like we were talking about a list of people I would love to have on a show. There's a list of people I'm like, I can't take you. I can't watch you on screen, and I don't.
Hey, no, top 3 the worst for you right now. Just fire them off.
Well, Shailene Woodley. I hate to say it because the army is going to come out because she has an army behind her. It's Kristen Stewart, whatever her name is. And I try, man. I try with every coming movie. I did it with the holiday season, and it's just. It doesn't work.
She has some roles that I really like Adventureland. I think she was great in. I think that really fit her. In the Land of Women, I was a fan of. I like that movie.
You know, I can't take in movies anymore because he's the same exact character in every movie. Is it Adam Brody? The one from
Adam Brody.
UFC?
Yeah.
Every time he comes in a movie, actually, he might be number one. He might be my number one. Because it's the same. It's just like it's such a cardboard performance. Like, hey, I was like this when I was on the OC, so every movie I'm going to act like this. And then I saw him in Promising Young Woman, and I'm like, you're just the same guy, but now you're even skeevier. Like everybody else gave a great performance, and you're just being the same guy you are.
Well, that's my exact issue with Eisenberg. I cannot deal with Jesse Eisenberg, man.
I gotta give him some love.
I just don't. Look, his first early movies were great, and then I realized it's just who he is. I hated him as Lex Luthor. He was just terrible. He's just got a lot of that character. It's just he does the same deal with the repeat. Catch Me If You Can. No, not sorry. Now You See Me.
Yeah,
actually,
Now You See Me. I liked him in because he was kind of different. He was more competent and confident in it.
Yeah, it just didn't work. Zombieland is one of the only ones that he just nails every note for me, and that might be because he's lifted up by Emma Stone, Amanda Breslin, and Woody Harrelson. So
I almost wish that the confident, cocky character that he was in Now You See Me was the same character in as Lex Luthor, because that's what you needed for Lex Luthor. Like even him being small, but just being cocky and confident, because it's like I'm super smart and rich.
He should have been. Because he is, but he wasn't. Michael Cera has done that. He's kind of grinded me down over the years. There was something about that school. You know what I'm saying? And Adam Brody fits in that school. Kristen Stewart fits in that school. There was that time in the early 2000s, the offbeat thing.
If you can't prove that you can get out of that, like Jonah Hill did, then and he did perfectly by stepping into Scorsese's world. Then for me, I was out. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I mocked Leonardo DiCaprio for years through Titanic, all of that, because he was very much similar. He was able to stay that wooden one-line kind of deal, even between like A Boy's Life and all that crap. It wasn't until later in his life when he really grew as an actor, and I got to see that and see him be much better in many roles.
I highly disagree with you, only because him in That Boy's Life, This Boy's Life, and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, it was like, this kid can... And Basketball Diaries. Oh, my God.
Basketball Diaries.
Talking about him pre-Titanic. Oh, and everything he's done since, like, oh, my God. Nah, he's the real deal.
Maybe I just had a thing against him because,
I think Titanic's heartthrob did that.
You know what? And you and I have had that conversation that it almost created this thing where you eschewed everything from his previous works, and everything. Like I looked at it through these new glasses; they were almost green, if you will. Where I was just like, "Well, fuck this guy," because he was everywhere.
Because neither of us looked like him, and that's what everybody wanted.
I mean, you were the good-looking guy. You were kind of looking like him. You got the pretty blonde hair and blue eye thing going. So
not anymore. All right, we are rounding down the time. I'm going to say this: I had a great time.
You know what? I have had better times.
All right, well, eat it.
I have also had worse times.
I want to say thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening going forward. Make sure that you're hitting subscribe on the YouTube channel. Make sure you're hitting follow, like, rate, and review us wherever you listen to your podcasts. and just help us out. Leave us feedback, talk to us, interact with us. You can reach out to us on social media at The Scene Snob, all our pages everywhere. We always respond. We got new stuff coming up. Tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Carpool Shenanigans starting up, so go check them out. It's a very funny show. Justin and Mitch are great guys. I actually sat down with Justin the other day. We did a special winter weather safety video, so you guys can go check that out. And it's helping a lot of people out in Oklahoma and in
Texas. Everybody dealing with all that terrible winter weather.
Who's not used to it, especially. Yeah. So, if we can help, if us East Coasters can help you, we're happy to do so. We may be in Virginia now where we see a lot of snow, but we're both from places that saw a lot of snow.
Yep, both from places there. Got a little state pin there. I don't know if you can see that, buddy. Go CT.
As soon as you started leaning forward, I was like, he has a Connecticut pin.
Damn straight, buddy.
So I will say this. It's always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show tonight. And yeah, also, we have a Patreon out now. You become a Scene Snob superfan, $5 a month. You get exclusives, you get shout outs on your birthdays, shout outs once a month, you get to pick topics, things like that. There's a whole bunch of stuff, so go check it out and think about supporting the Scene Snobs. You can head over to thescenesnobs.com for all those links and more. All right, everybody. Well, until next time, I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always with my esteemed colleague, Casey the Madman Plot.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in. It's fun as always. Be good to each other.
Take care, everybody. And that's our show, everybody. Thanks for listening. I am Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob. We always appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting along and everything else. Go check out this show or any of our other shows on thescenesnobs.com. Thescenesnobs.com. We love you. You guys are awesome. And if you would like, follow and subscribe to our social media. That really helps us go a long way.